my God, look at that. It worked. It worked.
Hey, what's good? What's good?
All right, so I guess maybe it's just a problem with me trying to join you or something, I suppose,
Yeah, that was weird. That was really, really weird. So I don't know. Maybe it was like a privacy thing because I
Yeah,
just
it
come
could have been.
over. My wife just said, "Oh, Zettabyte's gone live." I said, "Has he?" So
Isn't
I
that what you
couldn't.
wanted?
Well, when yeah, but I couldn't see it. And then I searched you, went to your page, and guess what it's telling me? That I needed
Hmm,
to follow you back. So how I weren't following you, I do not know. So as
hmm.
soon as I clicked follow, so I'm wondering if that's what it is. Somewhere the privacy settings are clashing because I hadn't followed back. Maybe it was that. That's weird.
Yeah.
But how you doing,
What's
bro?
up, so goat? I'm doing good. How about you, man? I saw you
Yeah.
were talking about your favorite flavors of vape.
Yeah. I just explained to the guys we went through this and we had probably the most awesome conversation we could have ever recorded and then it didn't come out.
Yeah, I know. It was like an hour 40. It was damn good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. But we
Hmm.
found out, well, I found out why it was IG blocking the audio.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely some kind of privacy thing, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So how you been?
Been good. Been using all the downtime to. I mean, we've been through this, but I guess you'll have to act surprised at certain parts, right? But I've been using all this downtime to learn how to produce music. I've been learning Japanese. I also want to make my own video game because there's a certain story I want to write based on Dante's Divine Comedy. If you're familiar with that, Dante's Inferno. I actually
Okay,
want to
yeah.
make a I want to make a story based on that in the form of a game. So there's a
Wow.
lot of stuff I've been doing, and so I've been okay. I've been okay this whole time. I know apparently you got sick, which I had no idea, man. Tell me about that shit. That sounded wild.
Well, I got sick, and to be honest, it was right at the beginning of the lockdown when it was right at the beginning of the lockdown. It was the full blown. It was to me, it was like flu amplified. And usually when I get sick, I'm usually okay. I can operate. I can do stuff. I'm not one
Yeah.
to. I don't like to lay in bed and feel sorry for myself. I'm one of those that kind of walk around in denial. But I couldn't do
Right.
it. I mean, I was trying to do things, and then it was. I would run out. It was almost like I'd just been for a run, and really all I've done is just like clear the table, and I feel like I've
Yeah, so you're out of
finished a
breath and
run.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And then eventually I just stayed in bed. But it was tough because there was no tests at the time. Like no one was being tested at the time. And there was it was it was around the time when the news was going on, like, oh, they're trying to get test kits. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do that, etc., etc. If you, if you go to seek advice, like medical advice, like they don't want you in the hospital. They won't let you
Yeah.
visit the local doctor. They tell you to stay at home, isolate, etc., etc., etc. So I just had to ride it out. And the funny story, and you can back me up on this now, I got drunk. One night I got so sick of feeling like it that I just decided I'm going to get drunk. It's probably the worst thing I could have done. But I got drunk just to take the feeling away, take it off my mind. Next
Uh-huh.
day. So I was sick for like 5, 6 days. And then I get drunk, and then all of a sudden I wake up fine. Not advertising alcohol, anyone.
So maybe alcohol is a home remedy to cure COVID, it appears.
Whoa, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm
It
not
might be
saying,
good.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying, it
Yeah,
works
yeah.
for
It
you.
was weird. Alphabyte
Yeah.
was actually because I went live that
Yeah.
night, and
Hmm.
Alphabyte Factor 50. They actually they saw me drinking, and they was like, "Oh, you got better quick," and I was like, "Well, I ain't really better. I'm just trying to drink it
Yeah.
away or trying to get past the feeling."
Yeah, I can't believe I missed that too.
But yeah, man. So I peeped. Biggest
Was
fan.
it
You're my biggest
okay?
fan.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I like the. Is the track called "Like That"?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Yeah, that one I liked, and I liked the last one as well about the is it the heights? Is it
Yeah,
400?
400-foot heights. It's from the
Yeah.
perspective of a certain character in Stranger Things,
Okay.
actually. That's kind of the idea of your biggest fan was to uh, either write about things I love that I'm a really big fan of, or try to write from a perspective of someone in that situation, you know. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what I did. Yeah, I'm glad you like that. And you know, it's kind of a similar voice to Semi-Auto, which I know you like. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of that is he was up that's was up's voice. He
Yeah.
just naturally sounds like that. He doesn't naturally sound like that, but that's his rap voice.
Yeah.
So I kind of mimicked that, and since that song, that's kind of the voice I've gone to sometimes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people have liked it, so that's good.
Well, that's it. I mean, if you're comfortable with that voice, then
Hmm.
it's natural, and if it's working and the people like it, that's a win-win.
Yeah.
But when I was listening to 4,000 Heights, I was thinking to myself, like I was thinking, because the one I actually giggled to myself at one point. I think you said I'm scared of spiders.
Yeah. Hmm.
You scared of spiders, isn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't mind them. I don't mind spiders, but my thing, do you know what? I hate water.
Water. Well, I mean, the ocean's scary to me, so I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, no, I don't like water. I've got some
Yeah.
crazy stories about me being afraid of water. Like when
Hmm.
I took my family to, we was in Gran Canaria. I took my family to, there was this like, it was like a strip of like restaurants, bars, entertainment, and the shortcut was across the beach. So we go there, we're eating, we're having drinks, we're having fun. Then it comes towards the end of the night. Okay, we're gonna walk back. The tide has come in. Well, I had a virtual meltdown. I had an absolute
Okay.
meltdown because I'm thinking there's no way I'm walking through that water at all. Yeah, we ended up adding a half hour onto the journey to take a different route.
Have you ever had any kind of doesn't have to be necessarily life-threatening, but any real scare in water other than that?
Well, the only
Any
thing,
drowning when you were a kid or something?
yeah, the only thing that I could ever blame it on was when I was about 2 years old. A little girl pushed me in a swimming pool, and I just sank like a stone. My uncle had to jump over some beds and dive in the water and get me from the bottom of the water. So that's the only thing I can think of that may have triggered it. I've got a little bit better as I got older, probably because I know that it's just a fear,
Right.
and I've got kids that want me to go in the water, but I'm still, once it gets to the knees, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. It's hard to, a lot of it's hard to overcome, especially if it's like especially if it's it's like an old fear, you know. It's not new, you know. It's been with you your whole life, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I see
So
Hazard is asking if I could do some Japanese. I know very little, but say if I were to, I'm just gonna. Do you know Hazard? What country Hazard is from? Do you know Reese?
I assumed USA, but I don't know if he's from
USA.
elsewhere.
Well, if you're from America,
Clover.
if I were to introduce you to someone like in Japanese, maybe I'd say like assuming like Hazard is like your stage name, I'd probably do like Hazard Sanwa America Shushin desu. And that would be Mr. Hazard is from the US, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
then that'll indicate to, you know, I assume I'd be speaking to someone in Japan who,
Mm-hmm.
you know, speaking in Japanese. That's a good introduction. They know. He probably doesn't know Japanese, so they might help us out. That's a little Japanese for you, dude. Anyways, you were gonna ask something, and I kind of interrupted. What were you
No,
saying?
you're good. Yeah, no, I was going to say last time we spoke, you was talking about you were planning on working on music videos. So
Yep,
how
yep.
are your plans working out for that? Have you got ideas ready?
Ye- Yeah, I got ideas. I've got about 6 songs pretty much ready. I gotta lease them all, of course, and master them, but all those songs are pretty much done. So pretty much I gotta think of what single I want to do, right? Or a few singles, preferably, and what would be appropriate for music videos. you know, if there's people who are featured on the songs, I need to think of how am I going to do that?
Yeah.
You know, am I just going to have to trust them to record something cool?
Yeah.
Because for music videos, I don't want anything boring. I don't want anybody to just be filming themselves jumping up and down, rapping, doing this with their hands, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking of stuff that's really gonna leave like a vivid picture in your mind when you see it. Like did you listen to Kendrick Lamar's Humble? Did you see the music video?
I didn't get round to it. I mean, I'm
I
aware of the
knew
track,
you
but
did it,
I
you
didn't
sly
watch the
dog.
video. No, I didn't.
Well, that yeah, by the way, Ben Soroka's in chat, he produced Float, and he's one of the guys I was talking about that's just, he's so good at producing. You
Yeah.
know, that's what I was talking about. Being independent, surround yourself with people who are excelling at something maybe you're weak at. He's one of those guys.
Awesome.
But
Awesome.
anyways, I want something that's vivid. Kendrick Lamar's Humble video is vivid. There's some weird imagery there, right? That's like, there's this one scene, Kendrick Lamar is kind of looking at the camera, but he's surrounded by a bunch of guys who are bald. Like they're completely bald, and uh, they kind of put their head down and then go up and they say like be humble or whatever, and then they nod their head, look down,
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
back up. Kendrick's got the beard. I think he's probably got cornrows in that video. I don't remember, but it's a really stark contrast. It looks really really cool. Something like Lil Pump's Aesthetic music video is really cool with all the freaking. He uses a lot of like ice machines and like money machines, all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff. It looks really cool. Anytime I hear that song, either of those songs, I'll think of that music video. For me, I want my music to be the same. So I was telling you, one of my ideas was to maybe start off a music video where I'm leaning back in some chair, right? Maybe I got no shirt on, and instead of a typical hip hop thing to have women like groping my body, I'm thinking of having a bunch of male guys, really long beards, you know, maybe alphabytes down, who knows, right? Having a bunch of guys with their shirts off, rubbing my body, right? That'll be something you'll never forget, because of course you would expect me to be surrounded by women, right? So that's a little idea
Okay.
I have. You know, I want to have some things that either you look at it and think that's badass or you think that's weird, and so because of that you'll never forget it. So that's the idea.
Clever.
Ingrain something memorable into someone's mind. So like me, if they hear one of my songs, they'll think of my music video. That's the plan. So
That's awesome, and it's unique as well. And that's the one thing that I think we often lack today: uniqueness. So that
yeah.
would definitely stand out, and that's I think that's important as well to have that unique take, and that is what makes you stand out. I mean, if you look at a lot of the artists that do get to the top and remain at the top for a long time, it's usually because they're doing something different to everyone else, or they're the pioneers of something, of an idea,
hmm
which I think's definitely important, and people will
Oh
remember
yeah,
it. Yeah.
I don't want to be boring. I've seen a lot of music videos from people just like me who just have their cell phone, you know?
Yeah.
And of course, it's always cool to see someone do something with just their cell phone, but a lot of the examples I see are quite boring.
Yeah.
And you can only do so much with a cell phone, right? We don't have big ass stage crews. We don't have the money for millions of dollars, right? Or however much it might cost. But you gotta overcome it, and that's the way I'm gonna overcome. You know, me just having my cell phone. I'll have a bunch of my friends come help out. You know.
That's good. That's real good. That's awesome, man. So just for the guys that may not know, Pig Belly, what
Yeah.
was the, if you want to explain to the guys what the idea around Pig Belly, the name, the
Sure.
music on there. So
Yeah. Pig Belly is a mixtape that I wanted to do last summer, and I didn't. Just because by the time I was going to upload, summer was technically already over.
Yeah.
So I dropped it this summer, like June 22nd, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's got like 22,000 streams right now, what I checked this morning, which is pretty awesome on Spotify at least. It's got 22,000 on Spotify. I I wanted to do a mixtape of all the stuff I had never released, but I already spent the money on leasing. So then I came up with the idea for Pig Belly as like, I'm not really confident in this music. First of all, it's like a mixtape. There's no real story or theme throughout it, but also
Yeah.
quality wise, it's stuff from like 2018, 2017. So I was like, I'm gonna market this as a mixtape, still put it out on Spotify and Apple Music, all that stuff, try to make it professional.
Yeah.
But, I wasted all this money on these leases that I shouldn't have done. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
put all this stuff out, and maybe some people will really like some of these songs. Uh, B Life did the cover art for Pig Belly. He made it really cool because I was telling him, I want to do some kind of gluttonous thing, like
Yeah.
I I didn't take a step back and use quality on my end. I was just like, I'm so good at music. I'm gonna lease all these songs and just drop them because I know they're gonna be great. It's kind of gluttonous on my end to have more and more.
Yeah.
And eventually, it didn't work out because some of this stuff on that mixtape's like years old. But I did a little better mixing. I had it mastered by Penny the Shaba. He's also in support art. And, I put it out and I'm still happy with it. It's just, you know, the very first song, my distributor wouldn't release this song. That was made 2018,
Yeah.
late 2017 maybe. Then the very last song, Float, was the latest song I made, which is with Ben on that. Soroka did that maybe March, I think, something like that. So you could kind of see my evolution throughout the track. It's not completely in order, right?
Yeah.
But it gives you a good idea. And again, some quality isn't there, but my advice to people is don't hold on to things. There might be a song people really like. I mean, people really like that first song, and it's pretty rough. My flow isn't that great. My delivery's kind of weak. My lyricism's okay, but really, like Mike Twist steals the show. Alphabyte steals the show.
Yeah.
BP steals the show. They did so good. But it's something I'm so proud of. So that's something I put out. And yeah, and again, don't hold on to stuff. Put that music out, but maybe don't do what I did and spend all that money leasing music. Because, I sat on that for like 2 years. And that's quite a lot of money to spend
Yeah.
on leases that you don't actually put out. So that was the whole idea behind Pig Belly. But now I'm just off to trying to do a sequel to some of my old stuff, like
Yeah.
Your Biggest Fan 2.0. That's what I want to do now. But I'm damn proud with Pig Belly. And
Yeah.
you should definitely check that out.
I was listening to My Biggest Fan today. I really liked that. I thought that was awesome. It was very nice, and do you know what I liked? It was so different to a lot of the stuff that I listen to all the time, and it
Hmm.
had like it was just such a different vibe, and all the tracks like they were more. It was something that I could have on in the background while I'm doing things.
Yeah.
It was, and I the tracks that stood out to me was which was like that, and the 4,000 the 400
Yeah,
feet
400 foot
heights.
heights.
Yeah, yeah, I really like those two are the ones that stood out to me the most. But Pig Belly, I'm gonna jump on Pig Belly, but I'm gonna avoid Float for now because I want to react to that one because that one seems popular. I noticed when we first went live, I kept looking down at the comments and I saw Float come up a couple of times. I'm not sure who mentioned it, but so I thought Float is definitely the one because that was the one that you said recommended, and I saw that come up in the comments. So I'm definitely
Hmm.
I'm going to reserve that one for a reaction, 100% that one.
I think you'll like it. And of course, again, when you do your reactions, if you ever want to see my lyrics, I put all that stuff on Genius.
Yeah,
I got, I think I put it on my YouTube
yeah,
description as well.
yeah,
But again, if you ever want to read that stuff, just head over to
yeah.
Genius and I annotate all that stuff.
I usually do that after, especially with alphabyte,
Yeah, you got to do it with Alphabet because
because
his
alphabyte be
rhymes.
giving me headaches.
Yeah,
Really.
Alphabet's, yeah. Well, like we were talking about, I'll hear a song of his probably like the 50th time, and then I'll hear something that I'm like, oh, duh, okay, I get that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I often kick myself with alphabyte reactions because I always catch them when I'm in editing stage. So after I've recorded reaction and then I'm
Yeah.
editing the reaction, adding in, all the graphics or whatever, and then I'll hear it and I'll be like, oh, I missed that one. I missed that one. But I done the
Yep.
same today with Alan Wayne's. When I did an Alan Wayne reaction, I peeped the bar, and it pissed me off actually, because when I peeped the bar, it was such a fire bar, and I'm like, how did I miss that? But it's hard because when you're hearing something for the first time, and when you catch a bar, sometimes you ponder in your head on that bar for too long that you've missed the next two or three bars, or
Yeah.
you've missed the punchline of that bar.
Yeah, 'cause
So
sometimes it's just an onslaught of stuff, you know? It's just nonstop cleverness, wittiness, you know?
yeah,
And you'll miss it. You'll miss it. That's natural, you know?
yeah. But the main thing is, I think, with the reactions, what I do like is being able to put something out there. Do you know what I mean? Like it's almost like sharing. To me, like when I do reaction, it's not just about me reacting or people watching me. I like to share, like, check this out, or check this
Yeah.
person out. It's awesome. But yeah, man, it's absolutely
And that's
fine.
kind of
So
how you and I got our connection. I think it was pretty much through alphabyte. And then naturally, I met you all because, you know, you wanted to
yeah,
share that, you know?
so your I know we spoke about this, but for the guys, your connection to alphabyte, how did that begin?
Okay. My best friend at the time, it was like 2015. It was the last day of my finals. I took my last final for the day at like noon,
Mm,
and then I went over and hung out with them. That's where I think that's where I met Alphabyte. And they were my buddy was telling me that he was a rapper. He's battle each other on it. It's called Rap Fame now, but it was called Battle Me. And basically you would like record your verse on a song and send it out to someone and they would respond and then people would vote. And then if you won, you'd get the status of, you know, winning that rap battle. So that was pretty surprising to me. And I remember I was like, "Oh, you're a rapper now. Do you have like a stupid rap name too?" And he told me it was Terabyte. And I was like, "Okay," because his name was Turner. So I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." So I kind of looked up what kind of storage is bigger than a terabyte, because a terabyte's
yeah,
like 1,000 gigabytes, right? So a terabyte's pretty large. But I looked up what's bigger than a terabyte, and I found that a zettabyte was like, I don't even know. It's like millions times bigger than whatever. So then I named myself Zettabyte. I remember Alphabyte at the time, his name was like Tynan or something, like TIE hyphen NIN, something like that.
yeah,
And then eventually he renamed himself to Alphabyte, which is pretty funny because like it's like he's the alpha, you know. I think that was clever. That's how we met, and we pretty much. I won't speak for him, right? But from what I saw, he and I pretty much started on that battle app and kind of
yeah,
moved forward from then onto like BandLab to meet with other people because BandLab does a good workflow, you know.
yeah,
BandLab has a really good workflow between collaboration,
yeah.
and then eventually, Alphabyte's SoundCloud kind of popped off, and
Right.
I think he got a. I won't discredit the work he did on like all the other stuff, but I think his SoundCloud really helped him out,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much how it happened here. He came over to my house and recorded in my closet once, back when I was terrible at mixing. I'm much better now, but yeah, that's pretty much how our story began, and it wasn't my intention, you know, because Alphabet and I are from Arizona,
Yeah.
and Arizona in abbreviations is AZ. You know, I'm not going to take credit for it because I didn't think of that, but it was clever that his name's Alphabet and mine's Zettabyte because it's like AZ, which is, you know, how our collab EP came out, A to Z, but it might have been
Yeah.
in his mind a little bit. You know, there was more plans with the three of us originally. We were going to be like TNT or something like that, which would have been Tynan, Noah, Turner, and I thought that was pretty badass, but it never happened. But it's kind of interesting how we started out. And I was pretty awful back then. I was pretty damn awful. And Alphabet was damn good, so it was hard for me because I kind of wanted to be like him and try to try to write as many clever bars and punchlines, but over time I kind of found my own place,
Yeah.
which is to kind of just chill and just not try so hard to be like others and just kind of relax with my music, you know? I want people to chill to my music, you know? I want there to be meaning and passion, but if you could relax to my stuff, that's good with me, man.
That's
That's what I
interesting
want.
you say that, because that was, to me, that was the perfect word I was probably trying to look for when I was explaining, when I was listening to your My Biggest Fan. That's what I
Yeah.
was trying to explain. It was that. It was that vibe. It was definitely a chilled vibe. It was something I could, you know, like, just I could lay on the sofa and just put on in the background, just lay there and listen to it. You know, it was one of those, and
You
it
see
just
the chat. Some guy said he met you when you were
oh,
beating
this
him
is
in the back of a bar.
Daniel Armstrong. Yes.
Is this
Dan,
true, Mo? Is
that,
this
that,
true?
Daniel Armstrong is my appointed troll. His job is to troll me.
But is there some, you know, real jokes contain true shit like J. Cole type stuff? Is there some truth to this story?
No. Daniel Armstrong. What's he put? Hang on. Let me just read what he's put. I met MoReece in the back of the bar. Him and three dudes was beating him because dude owed him money. He asked me. Daniel calls my channel the shopping channel.
The shopping?
Yeah, because I'm always advertising stuff at the end.
Okay.
So it's the shopping channel. He's going to use fake money to buy all my stuff.
All right.
Daniel Armstrong, he's cool, man. I met him through the Creek Squad fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Upchurch. From when I
Mm-hmm.
first started, I did a lot of Upchurch reactions. I still do. I still get Upchurch. I've actually got to put out a reaction to vinyl. Actually, I still do Upchurch reactions now. But I did. Funny enough, I think Daniel Armstrong actually might have been one of the people that first spoke to me when I was asking questions about the SFJ and Creek Squad beef. Because I used to be an SFJ fan. No, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not proud of it. But I'm sure I put up a video. It was when I was very. I mean, I don't even think I had 100 subs. I was very small. Was very new, very nervous, and I'm sure Daniel Armstrong and another guy were the two that explained it to me deeper, and I became a big Upchurch fan after that. So Daniel's responsible for this British Creek squatter over here.
So he's been around for a long time, huh?
Yeah. I've known
Cool.
Daniel Armstrong. I used to see him over at T-Rev's lives, the bar Discord, from my Upchurch reactions.
Yeah.
Daniel's shows up everywhere, man. He shows up everywhere.
That's good, dude. You got a real homie with you.
Yeah, man.
Even if he's a troll, too.
Oh yeah, no, he's a good troll. He's a good
A
troll.
good troll, yeah, yeah.
You should go check out his memes. They're hilarious.
Okay, sure. I'll do that. I'm all about good memes.
Yeah. So, what's other than the music videos? What else you got planned? Have you got any more albums coming? EPs, singles?
Yeah, I'm putting together Your Biggest Fan 2.0,
Oh, you said
and
yeah.
sonically it's quite different. Not too much. I don't want to stray too much, but I'm trying to put that together, then think of what would be good singles in combination with what would be a good music video. Other than that, I am still producing some beats. Some of them, most of them they're okay.
Yeah.
One of them I think is really, really damn good. That's one I'm really excited for. It's really cool to produce something that sounds phenomenal
Yeah.
and then do vocals on top of it that are just as good. So that's what I'm doing. The whole team at Support Art they all push each other really well to do better and do more, you know. So I'm gonna try to produce more for others,
Yeah.
right, to help them out. Other than that, I'm still, you know, making music like every day.
Yeah.
So it's an ongoing process. It happens like over the course of an entire year, you know. That's pretty much how long it'll take for me to do like an album that I like, right?
And are we going to
So
hear any Japanese tracks?
yeah, I started learning Japanese like 35 days ago, and I'm getting pretty damn good at it, especially since I know how to correctly pronunciate and enunciate all sorts of things.
Yeah,
I think I'll do a hook in Japanese. I think that'd be cool. Because
yeah,
to do a whole song in Japanese, I don't think any of the people who like my music would like that.
yeah.
But if I did just like a hook, I think that'd be pretty cool. So that, yeah, that's what I'll do. I think that's a really good idea.
You know what you need to do? You need to once you get real good at the Japanese, you need to do a cover of one of Alphabyte's tracks in Japanese.
Holy shit. The thing
just
is,
just to blow my mind even more.
first of all, I would have to have a ridiculous flow, right? I would have to be able to speak Japanese so like fluidly and fluently. Like, so imagine rapping one of Alphabyte's songs normally, right? That's hard enough. So then to do it in another language, like I'm handicapping myself twice is what's basically going on, right? But I'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens, all right?
So one of the tracks that I really liked from you was Semi-Auto.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we spoke about this, but for the guys watching, what was the inspiration behind Semi-Auto?
Well, Semi-Auto was it's a, it's based on a true story, right? Uh, a friend of mine was raped, and that was way back, right? And I
Yeah,
actually had this song kind of written in a different form with a different beat.
yeah,
And it's one of those, I have quite a few songs like that that I wrote way back then that I haven't done. This is one of those rare songs that I actually managed to put together because the beat was perfect for me.
yeah,
It gave me the idea to kind of rap like I did on Like That, like 55 does.
yeah,
And I love rapping like that. So that gave me the idea, oh, okay, I could actually like vocally put this together. So I got to writing, and I did that pretty damn well. It was one of those songs I did in like a day. Doesn't take much time. I get my point across. I get my performance done fine. Um, it was one of those songs that, uh, I really wanted to do. When shit happens in life and you just want to let it all out, that was the perfect song to do it.
yeah.
Back then, it was kind of like it's kind of like a rock song almost, not quite, but
Yeah.
kind of like a real aggressive voice. So it's changed quite a bit since then.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
remember reacting to it, and that was the first thing that caught me by surprise. I thought to myself, "Damn!" Like because I'm so used to what you usually put out, and then I heard that, I was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "I think I hit you up and said, damn, you've got a dark side there. What was going on?" And I actually think I said in my reaction, I wish that you just like did another verse and shot the guy.
yeah. So you wanted a third verse from me. You said it was too short. You wanted more. I
Yeah,
remember.
I wanted a third verse, and I wanted you to shoot the motherfucker.
Sometimes songs, well, first of all, that song, the beat only had room for probably, I don't know, was it three hooks, two verses? That was all with the beat. So
Yeah,
I
I
could have
remember.
artificially extended
Mm,
that. I could have done that, but by the time I did my second verse, I was like, yeah, the second verse, I'm going to kind of end with a kind of climax at the end, which I did.
yeah,
So I didn't want to keep writing and forcing stuff, but by the time I started the second verse, I had already decided, okay, I'm gonna try to lead up all the way to the finale, and then that would be it.
yeah,
And it's real subtle, but I add like freaking fire cracks,
yeah.
like the crackling of a fire throughout the end hook that No Art does,
Okay.
to kind of insinuate that I like burned the house down, or maybe I burned him alive.
Yeah, right.
That's kind
Okay,
of
yeah.
so I had the idea of finality for that song. So any other verses I would have had to maybe structure differently. But also that's something about me. I definitely excel at shorter songs. Two hooks, one verse.
Yeah.
Uh, I like that because I could kind of get straight to what I want to say. And
Okay.
maybe that's a weakness of mine, but typically you'll see shorter stuff from me.
No, to be honest, I totally get it. I mean, I think with me, it was more of a personal thing, but I think that's because I probably when I grew up I grew up through a time. I'd say I got into hip hop in '93. So from '93 to about 2005, 2006, most tracks were like three verse, two hooks,
Right, over three
roughly four,
minutes,
yeah,
four or
four,
five
anything
minutes.
from
Yep,
4 minutes to 6 minutes. I mean, some
yep.
tracks were like six and a half minutes. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
say like Eminem's Stan, that's like 6.5 minutes, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it
Um,
doesn't feel bloated though. That's what's good about it.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
I think that would
everything needs to
probably,
be said.
yeah, that's probably why. Um, and the same, like I'm the same with like albums. Like when people put out an albums, if someone says to me, "I've dropped an album," I expect 20 tracks, 19, 20 tracks, 21 tracks, and then but you see when Eminem dropped Kamikaze, the fact that it was 13 tracks, and I think two of those tracks were skits, disappointed me.
Mm,
And because I thought, nah, to me an album should be bigger. But I think today, in today's world, if it's going to decrease the quality, then they won't lengthen the track, or they won't throw in filler. Do you know, too much filler or too many, you know.
right.
So I totally get the idea. I think it's just what I got used to. I was used to tracks being 3, 4, 5 minutes long, and albums being, you know, 20 tracks long, etc. So that was
Right.
more of a personal thing than it was anything to do with anyone's music. I think that was just more about me.
Well, Pig Belly's 14 tracks. I'm pretty sure it's 14 tracks. To me, that's
Yeah,
too much because first of all, it's this like I said, there is stuff that I necessarily wouldn't even bother putting out nowadays, but
right.
because I kind of ran with the idea of just putting it out there, even though it might not be great, it fits my theme perfectly of Pig Belly being gluttonous, right? Even 14 tracks for me is too much, right?
Yeah,
For like your biggest fan, it's only 7 songs.
yeah,
The first one is a 30-second intro to your biggest fan, the second song, right? So it's really only six
yeah,
songs, right? Some of those are only one verse, two hooks.
yeah,
That's slightly too short. I think I'd add a couple tracks, 9, 10 tracks.
yeah.
But for me, I like short tracks like that, or I like short albums. You know,
Right. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't
I
want
see what
any.
you mean.
I don't want any fat. You know.
Yeah, I mean, because on the flip side, you know, somebody's response to me could be, you know, okay, you like an album with 20 tracks, but do you like all 20 tracks? So
Some
somebody could
albums are
fire that argument, and yeah, there
phenomenal.
are some albums where I do skip a certain track, or you know, or I might get to a track and think, I've heard this about 100 times, I'm skipping that, you know, or so, and sometimes some tracks don't slap as much as the other tracks on the album. So I totally get it. There are like there's probably is albums that have got 20 tracks, and if they took out maybe five of the tracks, I probably would have missed them. So I totally get that. I think some, like in today's world where you know people are putting out tracks that are either one verse, two verse, like shorter tracks, you know, less on the album or less on the EP, kind of does work because they at least they, even though they're giving you less, they're giving you the best quality of what they've got, which is
Yeah, that's what
probably
I'm
far
going
more
for.
important. What do they say? Quality
Quality over
quality over
quantity.
quantity. That's it. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to checking out Pig Belly. But as I say, I'm not gonna listen to Float until that reaction. So I'm gonna get that booked
Well,
in.
it's the very last song, so
Yeah,
it'll get to you, man. It'll be like the first Pig Belly. The first 7 songs are, you liked Comet. Some of them are kind of like Comet. First 7 songs are a little harder.
yeah,
Song is more or less what I do now, just a little different. But I
yeah.
think you'll like it.
I liked Comet, and you know what? I think Comet actually. I think your verse was the verse that drove me crazy because you used some big ass word in there, and I still don't think I even checked out what the word meant. I might have done.
Yeah, I
Alphabet
remember
was
what.
laughing his head off.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the word I even used.
I know it was like some.
Oh, an egalitarian? Was it that?
It possibly, yeah. I
It
think it
might have
might have
been
been. I remember listening. I was
egalitarian.
thinking, what the fuck did he just say?
Yeah, I think egalitarian is a someone who I think thinks all people are equal, something like that. An egalitarian advocates. Yeah. Alphabet says esotericism. I think that was the word.
Yeah, that is the one.
Esotericism in my skull. It's that
That was the
heroism in
one.
full. Yeah, it was esotericism.
Yeah, that was the one
Yep.
because I think I actually hit alphabet up after, and he was dying, man. He was
Alphabet's the
dying.
Heisenberg edition or whatever he says. I forget what he says. Heisenberg? Is it Heisenberg, dude? I don't know what it is. His
Yeah,
verse, when I got his feature for that, I was really disappointed because I really liked my flow for mine. And I
yeah,
was like, oh, is he gonna do some kind of wild flow? But then I listened to it more and more, and I was like, nah, this is definitely perfect. Not only is it he not only does he rap hard, he obviously took his time. I could tell he took his time, and I was just listening more and more, and I'm like, yeah, no, this is awesome. There's nothing
yeah.
wrong with it at all. But yeah, it was a never happened to me before. But yeah, Alphabet, that verse disappointed me at first, but then I was like, no, hold on a second. What am I smoking? It's actually great.
That was it was a really cool track. It was definitely a cool track. And I'm
It's
trying to
all it's
think
all what's up.
what was the first reaction I did to you actually. That's what I can't remember. I know Alpha
Uh,
Bites was Runaway. That was the first reaction. I think yours might have been. I think your track, the first reaction I did to you, I'm sure it was the one you had like a waterfall video. I think
A journey through my mind, really.
it may have been that one. May have been that one. I got a
I don't
feeling because that's the one
recall.
that I can see it in my mind. That's why I'm thinking. I remember seeing like a waterfall. It might have been that one.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one. It's just a loop of a waterfall. That's all it is.
Yeah,
Yep. That was one of my
yeah,
lo-fi songs that Alphabet loves lo-fi. We'd talk about maybe doing like a lo-fi album. That kind
yeah,
of song, that kind of music that's just so laid back and beautiful. Yeah.
yeah. But that's what I noticed with your style. So what's your ideal? Is that your ideal style, lo-fi?
Well, a little bit. So, someone once told me that it's weird because I always thought my voice was kind of stupid and kind of silly, sounds kind of dumb a little bit. But when I'm talking normally to somebody, uh, people have told me that my voice is really soothing, and I
Right.
never thought of it that way. I always was like self-conscious of my voice, but someone told me that, and someone else was like, "Yeah, I love it when you talk." Ever since then, when it came to music, I'm like, okay, maybe I could just kind of relax my voice, kind of just tilt my throat up like this, and just start rapping some little singing stuff like that. Uh, ever since then, I felt like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna try to just use what's closest to my natural voice. Like
Yeah,
right now is kind of like my natural voice, more or less. Kind of use that for my vocals a little bit, right? So lo-fi, it's really soft, typically. It's really soft, so I think it matches my voice really well. And that's why on Your Biggest Fan, I think I do such a good job because that's kind of more, it's not lo-fi music really, but I still kind of take a laid back uh, performance, right?
okay.
And I think that's my strong suit. And that's what I was saying. I want to make Your Biggest Fan like my series, right? I want to make it like Trippy Red's A Love Letter to You, right? One
Yeah,
through like five that he has, right? I want that to be my standout. Uh, I want Your Biggest Fan to be like my standout project, right? Or
yeah,
maybe like uh, yeah, more or less. I would say like the documentary from the game, except he only has three, right? He's got one, two, 2.5.
yeah,
It's not as many, but you get the point. I want that to be like my standout
yeah.
project. So, because of
Like
that,
ill mind of Hopsin, that sort of thing.
exactly, except the whole project is keep going and going. That's what I want to do. But yeah, great example. Ill Mind, exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's an awesome idea, yeah. So then you can sort of start off with like a story and then add to that story and different vibes, different details, different experiences, I guess.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And again, the whole idea is to take things that I'm a really big fan of and try to write for it. Be as nostalgic as possible. Maybe even find a beat that samples a theme song from like an old cartoon, right?
Yeah.
And for a journey through my mind, it samples the Avatar's Love from Avatar The Last Airbender. Although that's not on Your Biggest Fan, you can see I got that idea earlier that I want to either drop bars that people like, oh, is he talking about Stranger Things or Game of Thrones? Or maybe do like a
Mm-hmm.
beat that very clearly has some hint of like, wait a second, where have I heard this? That's what I
Yeah.
want this to be, you know? I think it's going to be sick.
Oh, that would be awesome. Awesome. And that's what my biggest fan's going to be. So the next one's 2.0, right?
Mm-hmm. If you would like to know, the guy in the voicemails for that album kind of starts off the album, and his voicemails, my songs alone, no voicemails in the album, tells a story, kind of.
Yeah.
With the voicemails from Jacrispy, he's Jacrispy with the jiggle physics. I end my
Is
verse on
that
Comet. I name drop. I'm gonna name drop him so much, but just remember that guy. He's in chat right now. He's the
okay?
Pillsbury Titan. But he's my vocals, my beats, or not my beats, but my songs, right, on the album tell a story. His voicemails also kind of tell a story and kind of hint at what the song next is gonna be like.
Sorry, I'm just
I,
politely asking my wife if she'll fill this for me.
so that's all good, dude. Hell yeah. I want to use him for the second album as well and kind of
Yeah.
put like a theme, you know. I'm all about, uh, again, like I was saying with music videos, I want something you could remember, you vividly remember. Well, I want these voicemails from Jacrispy to serve as that as well through my albums, right?
Is that who was on the end of the last track on your My Biggest Fan? Because there was like a
Yeah,
telephone call right at the end. Is that the
yep.
same?
400 Foot Heights is, I think he says I have to go now and that's it. It
Yeah,
just
yeah.
cuts abruptly. That's the end because I intend to add more to that album, right?
Right.
I,
Okay.
I intend I intend to add more. But yeah, that's the idea, dude. That's the idea.
Ah, okay. Yeah, yeah. Because I was actually going to ask that, and I forgot to ask, and you just prompted me. Because right at the end of that track, I could see it sounded like a telephone call or a voicemail, and then it ends. And
Yeah, no, he's on like four of the songs on that album, and I have an idea. I'm not gonna spoil it, but I kind of want well, I won't spoil it. Never mind. Forget that. You'll hear it later.
okay, cool,
I
cool.
don't want it to be just random ass voicemails that don't serve any purpose. I want I want something more, and that's what I'm gonna be doing.
The tie in with the track and the meaning of the tracks and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. So yeah, exactly. I want both things to serve each other. What's up, Kevo? Ooh, he said I
I
love the
keep
Pig
forgetting
Belly
there's
album.
like a ton of people in this chat. Well, there's 7 people. We got Crispy Studios. That's who you was talking about, right?
Yeah, that's Jacrispy with the jiggle physics. Thick fiends pay him a
Good.
visit.
Alphabyte, Kevin, Nico. You got the whole fam in here.
Good, dude. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm guessing maybe that problem of me not being able to join your IG live was because you weren't following me because you hate me or something. I don't know, something like that.
Poor Zettabyte. Like, guys, honestly, poor Zettabyte, man. Like, first of all, we were supposed to record this 2 days ago.
We
Um,
did.
uh, I got high and completely forgot. Went to sleep. Woke up in the morning to messages on IG from Zettabyte. What's up, bro? And I thought, shit, man. Then I sent him about 20 apologies. He was cool. He said, okay,
Yeah,
we'll
I
do
didn't
it
care at
tonight.
all.
We
Reese felt
recorded
pretty
it.
bad.
Oh, man. 2 hours, was it? Was it 2 hour
And
interview?
it
1 hour
sounded
43
awesome.
minutes,
Yeah,
something
Marie
like
was
that.
in the next room. She said, oh, that sounded awesome. That sounded awesome. I said, we had the most fire conversation. Go check it. No audio. No audio recorded whatsoever. The whole thing recorded apart from the audio.
What is it? He wanted to get you on the track.
Yeah, she heard you asking me to get on for the MoReece EP.
Right, I'm like, when's the MoReece mixtape? At the very least, where's MoReece featuring on my song, you know?
Well, you know the funny thing you said,
Yeah.
angry orphan. He put up a post on Twitter. This will make you laugh. He put up a post on Twitter, and he said, "Oh, if anybody says," this was on the 4th of July. He said, "If you say Happy Independence Day to me, I will dish you tomorrow." So I said to him, Happy Independence Day, I will respond. Then obviously he must have put a little gify, like a gify response, and I said, and I will respond to the Barbie girl beat. So you know what he did? He dissed me in the tweet.
Wow.
So really and truly, I am supposed to diss him back with the Barbie girl beat.
You can't just take a beating and not do anything about it. Come on. He absolutely destroyed you. I'm surprised you're not canceled right now.
If I diss Angry Orphan, he's going to destroy me again.
Yeah, possibly. Possibly.
And then the thing is Angry Orphan is promoted by Lyrical Assassin, so I have to promote my own Rest in Peace.
It's some promotion for yourself, something like that. It might not be great promotion, but it's still promotion.
Yeah, no, Angry Orphan's a man. I got a lot of respect for Angry Orphan. So,
I don't know, man. He will never do a feature for me. I gotta pay him like $12,000 or something to get him on his track with me.
I'll talk him round. I'll talk him round. I'll tell him. I say, look, if you do a feature with Alphabyte, I won't body you. I'll just say that. And he'll probably body me for saying that.
Right, I had nothing to do with it, by the way. Nothing to do with this at all.
You should sound good on the track, though. I mean, you could do maybe you could blend the lo-fi together. You could split the verses, and you could do the melodic part in between. Would be a thing.
I could. Something I'm really good at is matching styles. Now, on Pig Belly, not necessarily, because again, some of that stuff is old. But I've done so many things to be aggressive with my vocals, match the flow really well.
Yeah.
Maybe like match the entire vibe really well. But of course, it's not necessarily shown in my latest project, but I'm really good at that.
That's awesome, man. So, my man Zettabyte, we finally, at least we finally got people to see it. Do you know what I did though? I weren't making no room for mistakes. I Googled the hell out of how to download this live at the end so I can get it up on YouTube. But it's pretty
good.
easy.
I don't have to do this and then email to you. You could do it on your end.
You might need to download it. I don't know. I mean, because to be honest, I've got an app anyway where I can just if you save it to your IGTV or you save the live, it should go on your IG TV, and I've got an app where I can just copy the link, post it in this app, and it will download it. But if I have problems, I'll just tell you how to do it. And then
okay, cool.
On YouTube.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a plan, dude.
Up on your channel, my channel, or we can both have it up on our channels. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll throw this on my channel, sure. That'd be cool.
It'd be awesome. One for the catalog.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad we did this too, even though we literally didn't pull it off like before this interview started. We couldn't do it on your channel, I guess.
I don't think we
but hey, we did it.
Repeat that, guys. Honestly, when I tell you this conversation was it was the perfect interview. And I was explaining to the guys why you were setting up, why you would come out of the other live to set this one up. I was saying it was almost as if we was interviewing each other. And it was just an awesome conversation all around. And it's just such a shame that it didn't work out the way it did. But
oh, I'm such a charming, incredible, awesome fella, you know? I don't blame you for regretting it, you know?
Yeah, it was just It really was, and you said you was devastated, weren't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. But luckily, you know, we found this way around it. At least a few people have witnessed it, and then we can get this up on YouTube. So that's awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm glad everyone popped in live, but you know, I'm sure we'll get more interaction on YouTube when we post it out there. But yeah, no, I'm glad people hopped in live because having like a live interaction is really, really key for this kind of stuff.
Oh, 100%. And I think in the future as well, once I do, because I'm new to OBS. I mean, a month ago, probably just over a month ago, I knew nothing about OBS, and then I figured OBS out in terms of doing my reactions. And then when it comes to like streaming, like Sap Juggalo does his interviews, I thought I'd figure it out quickly because usually I figure stuff out quite quickly. Like I figured out setting up with Discord pretty much in a couple of hours. I'm usually, but,
yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, but then when it comes to like doing OBS and then Zoom or Skype and then connect it all together, go live, it just wasn't working out for me. So I think I have to figure out the settings because that was the bit that I was having trouble with. Not so much connecting OBS to YouTube. That bit was quite straightforward.
Yeah.
But I know there was another program, I think it's called NDI. It's like a client that allows you to pair programs to the OBS so that you can run Skype and that sort of thing. That's the bit that I've got to get around. But once I do, maybe when you drop My Biggest Fan 2.0, we could probably go live on YouTube properly and speak about that, and maybe even play a few tracks for people on there and stuff like that. And
cool. Yeah, I'm down with that. I'm always down for that.
yeah,
I got a hell of time, dude. I'm taking care of my grandma at home, so I'm always freaking home, dude, ready to do something.
yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So Zettabyte, I'll let you go.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, it's probably late as hell for you right now, huh? It's like 10 p.m. or something like that for you?
no, what's the time here? What is it?
I guess it's 20.
Oh, nearly 11 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, so not too bad. I'm drinking beer anyway, so I've not been.
You're having a good ass time. You're gonna have a good night. You're probably gonna vape some more. You're the vape god of yourself. Vape god of England, I guess.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm the vape god of England, but soon as this live's over, this is going down, and then I'll be
Yeah, you might have to charge that after tonight or something.
I'll be smoking
what
one
you're
of
saying?
alphabyte cigarettes.
Oh, okay. Dude, we got 25 seconds remaining. I guess that's the full hour, yeah?
Yeah, that's why I was quickly calling it before it cuts us off.
You mad genius. Well, all right, dude. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, no,
Maybe
thank you
next
very
time.